Keep the livers on one side. I'll crowd back those all up for him. If you guys want to roast off the neck for yourself, please do. If not, give it to somebody. Somebody will eat it in here. Okay, there you go. So give it to somebody. Like I said, just a little bit of oil on it, salt, pepper. Throw it in the oven in a saute pan until it's roasted and juicy. And
duck neck sounds good,
right dude. Good stuff.
It starts to get brown. Like,
it'll get brown out. Yeah, it'll get golden on the outside.
I'd fry it.
Yep. Okay,
Piece
so
of chicken.
That's all on the inside. Make sure you keep all that for me. We're going to use everything off of this duck. Okay, so don't throw anything away. When you once you get those wings clipped off, there's going to be some extra skin back here. I'm going to use this too. Save this. We're going to render all this down. Duck fat is gold. It's delicious. So I'll have a small pot up here. We'll just drop it all in, and I'll leave it over low heat overnight. In the morning, Chef Ty will drop it for us, and he'll probably do the same thing, and we'll drop his for him. And we'll have nice rendered off duck fat. So all the excess skin you get tomorrow night, please, 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 give that to me. Like I said, we're not going to waste anything on this duck.
It's expensive.
It's expensive?
The chicken skin.
What's that?
We threw out chicken skin yesterday, but
the fat is not good. Chicken fat is just greasy and kind of flavorless. This fat is rich and delicious.
Well, compared, yes, I agree.
You could keep the chicken fat, absolutely. It's used in dishes like matzo ball soup. When you make matzo balls, you use schmaltz, which is chicken fat. Yeah. But it's not really good flavor. Duck, on the other hand,
I make French fries with chicken fat.
Yeah, you can, absolutely. Yeah. If you want to keep it and you want to run that on your menu, you'll be the star of the show probably. I have chicken fat fried French fries. Go for it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's still fat.
Right.
Me personally, I don't prefer the flavor of it.
I was just curious. I've never seen it really.
Yeah, you can. And people have done it. I've seen it. Not a whole lot, but absolutely you can. So I remove the excess skin here. A lot of times there's a lot of excess skin here in the neck, but I'm going to come back and do that a little bit later. I want to make sure I get the breast off here because I really, just like with the chicken, I really wanted to make sure I got a nice skin. I really wanted to do the same thing here with the duck because I'm going to render off that fat, and if that fat starts to shrink, the meat's going to start to cook while it renders off. Not to mention that it's just not going to look very nice. So I want to do a very, very good job of trimming up this breast meat. Once I get to this point, it's very, very similar to breaking down that chicken. I feel for the keel bone. Make an incision right down that keel bone. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just use the tip of my knife here. I'm going to follow that keel bone the best that I can all the way down here. This has also still got the wishbone in there. Okay, so I'll follow that wishbone. I'm going to peel it off across the ribs, and I'm going to take it off the drumette. Remember, the drumette is not staying on here. We don't want a funny-looking airline duck breast. Not what we're looking for. This keel bone drops off fairly drastically, a little bit farther than the chicken, so you're going to have to go in a little bit deeper than you do with the chicken. But I'm still just using the tip of my knife. Okay, you guys see how much farther that keel bone drops off down into the bones down there? And this does have a tenderloin on it, but it's a tiny little tenderloin. You can make tiny little chicken tender or duck tenders, but they're about this big. And I'll show you that when we get down there. Just like the chicken, I don't want to use my knife a whole lot. I want to let the duck peel away from here so I get all this good meat off here. Follow this wishbone down, best to my ability. See, there's next to no meat left on this thing, and I'm just barely doing a whole lot of work here. I'm going to let the duck do the work. Notice the meat of the breast, dark meat. All right, we talked about that. It's got all that myoglobin in it so that it can sustain a longer flight. Tendon. I'll show you the joint of it. Here's the tenderloin. And we'll just take that off while I'm here. Much smaller than the chicken tenderloin. Tiny duck tenderloins, duck chicken strips could be your appetizer. If you guys want to cook those up, that's fine. Otherwise, throw them in the stock. Make little duck chicken strips. Okay, here's that joint where the drumette is attached. Or if I go in on this side of it, it's going to stay on the breast. I don't want it on the breast, so I'm just going to follow it right around the outside. And once again, I want to cut this as close to the leg here as I can, so I get full coverage of the breast. Down the skin down there. Nice sharp cut.
So since the duck's flatter, you're checking on top of this the legs.
Right, yeah, it's already pretty stable. I don't have to do that. And I don't want to do that because I would end up tearing the skin, and I don't want to tear the skin here. He's already much more stable. So out of the way for a second. Okay, so this, I want to trim up just a little bit. Remember, I want this to hang over the edge. So that's all stained. That's all stained.
Bless you.
Bless you again.